Home Alone. Oh, wonder how I got that achievement. Oh. uh, no, can't call for less. Bessie, where are you? That is just kind of freaky to have sitting there. Should put it in the closet. Thought I saw something outside the window, but I guess not. Leslie!
Lissy?
Oh, there we go.
Right up the stairs, Teddy.
Oh. Are you going to discover the book that I read last night?
Teddy, is that you?
Where are you?
Upstairs.
Hey, what are you doing?
This is her room.
Yeah.
Are you paying attention? Ruth. Can you imagine? One moment you're living a perfectly happy life, and then nothing. Darkness. Forever and ever. Maybe there's something here that can tell us what happened to her.
This is a waste of my time.
We might be the only ones left to tell her story, Edward.
You're just being melodramatic. I'll help you look. There's still no sign of the Fretlands.
Maybe they left town after Ruth died.
What's the point of this? I should be looking for Betty.
I hate you sometimes.
Jeez. Why is she so opposed to him finding Betty? It's his sister. It's the reason they came here. Yes, there's some other mystery going on here, but come on. Be a little understanding about what he's going through also. What's this?
Ruth was an artist.
This is very primitive.
Have you ever met a child, Edward? She wasn't Monet, she was 8. Ruth never finished this. What does that spell? F-O-R-B.
For Banelson. The curse.
Who's that figure supposed to be? It's creepy.
Giant.
A figment of her imagination. But the box she drew. It looks like this box under her desk.
Really? Let me see, pull it out.
Oh, there's her
What is this?
thingy.
I believe this might qualify as actual treasure.
Her pin.
Is that Norwegian money?
Sort of, but ancient. Viking coins.
Are they valuable?
Not in terms of monetary value, but historically. They belong in a museum.
Looks like Ruth had her own private museum.
Why would a child have these artifacts?
She must have enjoyed collecting and playing with them.
These are much too precious to play with. She should have given these to an adult.
She was a child, Edward. To her, they were just shiny toys. Wait! The pin. On the doll.
This is where it came from, her collection.
But where did she find these treasures?
A dig, a gravesite. Wherever she found them, she wanted to keep them hidden.
You think someone found out?
These items wouldn't necessarily be worth much, except to a historian or archaeologist.
What if this is how... I mean, if someone learned she'd been collecting treasures, they might be willing to do terrible things.
Wouldn't they be gone then? It's not like they were hidden very well.
What am I looking for?
Anything out of the ordinary. Something that could explain what happened to Ruth.
This is real life, not a whodunit by Agatha Christie. There won't be a convenient series of clues leading to a tidy conclusion.
Says you. She made her bed that morning. Before she...
Or her parents did. It doesn't matter. It tells us nothing.
Why are you like this today? Betty's not the only person in the world that matters.
She matters the most to me.
Ain't that the truth? This must be the village church. That's Ruth and her family on one side of the aisle, Simon and his father on the other.
The community divided.
Aw. They wanted to be friends. But the community was divided and the fathers did not like each other.
That must be Ruth and Simon's fathers.
Perhaps. They weren't on the best of terms.
They look like they want to kill each other.
To a child, maybe it looked worse than it was.
Children are more insightful than you give them credit for, Teddy Bear.
Who's the blonde? Hmm.
She found something.
Where's that supposed to be?
A cave. Or the...
Mine. It could be. But what did she find?
Her Viking treasure. Of course.
So we go to the mine.
There's a story here. The treasure box, the drawings.
The overactive mind of an imaginative child.
Well, she didn't imagine the Viking artifacts. You shouldn't be so dismissive. The drawings could be her way of dealing with traumatic events.
This is what happens when I read you the principles of psychology. You get notions.
You say that like it's a bad thing. Ruth was troubled. The village was troubled, and...
What?
Is that a bell?
The church bell. Someone's here. Maybe... Betty.
Why would Betty ring the church bell?
Perhaps she's in trouble. I need to get to the church right now.
Wait, isn't it more likely to be the person you saw the other night? We should be careful.
I told you, I'm not sure that was anything. Come on.
Go ahead. I'll catch up with you before you get there. I need a minute to think about all of this.
Alright. Let's get going then. I wonder if I already read that. If we're gonna be finding dead bodies in the mine. I mean, we found one. Like, where is everybody else? The church bell could have been automatic. And there's a lot of this island we have not yet explored. I'm also wondering how... This is not the only way up to the church. I wonder how... Oh, should I be taking another route? Because I could get there the other way. Or maybe I couldn't. Maybe that was the point. You could see the church, but you couldn't get to the church. Let's try this way. It's in the right direction, anyway. I mean, they did just leave their livestock behind gates, you know? Is the church this way? I think so. I mean, the bell sure is ringing a long time, so that's probably not automatic.
July 24th, memorial service. A commemoration of the accident at the mine this past summer. No services after that.
Hmm. Many stunned for a minus alisum mistit. I can't speak Swedish. Or Swedish? I think so. I think that's what they were saying this area is. New graves. Man, a lot of new graves.
All these fresh graves. Do you think that maybe Betty...
No. I'd know.
But...
You wouldn't understand. Elizabeth and I, we have a bond.
God, Edward. Your obsession with her is really starting to grate.
She's his sister. God, you are really starting to grate on my nerves. Wonder if they were twins, if they have a bond, like he was saying.
Why board up a church?
To keep the ghosts from escaping?
Regardless of how they got past the boards, there's someone in there.
I don't see anybody. What's the sign say?
Gone fishing?
God is not here.
Oh.
Well, of course he isn't. You won't find God in a church. God is the wind in the trees, the grass between your toes, the brook that runs through.
That's nature, not God.
Who did this?
Someone who'd lost their faith.
Can you peek through the boards?
People would disagree about the brook and the trees. Oh.
See anyone?
No,
Listen! The bell! They're still in there!
It looks like it's under disrepair.
Hello? I heard the bell.
Well, this is giving
I'm
me
here
the
to help.
heebie-jeebies.
These boards look flimsy enough to break.
Look at that. The ether comes in Edward. I didn't think you had it in you, old fruit.
Be quiet. Betty? Are you here? Hello? This is Edward Harden. I'm looking for my sister, Elizabeth.
Stop shouting, Edward. We're alone. There are only ghosts here.
There are no ghosts.
I don't know about that.
She was just saying, listen, there's somebody still here. And now she's saying, no, there's nobody here. There are only ghosts. What? What is wrong with you?
What's this rope for?
The bell.
This is the bell we heard ringing?
I don't see any other bells.
So you have to stand here and pull this rope to ring it.
Yes.
But there was no one here. You didn't see anyone, right?
No. No
What?
one.
Ghosts. I'm telling you. It's ghosts.
Or the
So
wind.
what happened to the Hunchback of Grovik?
They must be here still. There's only the one exit.
Maybe it was the wind.
Yeah.
A church bell's too heavy. It can't have been the wind. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was the wind. There's no one here.
Are we sure that this is the bell? Because usually it's in the back. In the middle of the area here, it seems odd. Yep, I guess so.
I don't like that sound. Please stop.
What's that? Her gloves.
Look. Betty's gloves.
Man, she's just leaving stuff all over town.
They are definitely Betty's.
They're pretty.
She got
Shit's
these
sake.
in Boston before she left for New York. She bought them at Woolworth. I remember the day she's here.
Where? And why would she leave her clothes lying around? It doesn't make sense.
Breadcrumbs. She's sending me a message. She knew I'd recognize her gloves, her hat. She's left a trail for me to follow, like Ariadne's red thread.
We're not in a labyrinth.
Betty will have left more crumbs.
Betty, you're turning into such a pill.
Okay, am I the only one that's just like, why did we even bring her along? We came here to look for Betty. Man, I want to smack her. I just want to smack her.
What happened here?
The sign on the door. God is not here. Their faith was challenged, and it didn't survive.
Isn't this a fire hazard?
They're not always lit. Each candle represents a single prayer.
That's a lot of prayers.
There were a lot of deaths.
Let's start on the left.
The final dinner.
The Last Supper. Who taught you about the New Testament?
I pick up on things. Most folks aren't heathens, like you.
Okay, I can't click on that one yet. So let's check this.
The
Nope.
church book. A record of births and deaths.
So we can find out what happened to the people in the village?
And, Elizabeth. I mean, if she was dead...
Her name would be in the book.
Vandals. Tore it to pieces.
I don't think the missing pages left the church. Look.
Oh. Good find.
How many pages are missing?
I counted 4.
They're probably all still here. I know. Let's make it a competition. 1-0 to Team Me.
Okay.
They considered this a sacred place. For them to destroy it. This was an act of desperation and anger.
I like that chair. It's such a tavern-y feel. It's like, I don't know.
Jesus looks sad.
What reason would Jesus have to be happy?
Don't be blasphemous.
Given that this is all fiction, blasphemy is a contradiction.
Heretic.
I really think she is some kind of figment of his imagination.
I wanted you to find that one. I know what a rotten loser you are.
What are you doing? We're in a church.
Thought you didn't believe in God.
I do believe in civility.
We'll be kids, I suppose.
Found another one. You get it. It's right here.
Okay, just a sec. I was looking at this.
I've never seen you read the Bible before.
I've read the Bible many times. It's an important historical document. For he is our peace, who hath made both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
Did you just translate that into Olden English?
I happen to know the verse by heart.
You still manage to surprise me sometimes.
Okay. Looks like this area is clear. No other papers on the ground. She said she found one over here. Ah.
Just one more page missing.
Did she not pick it up because you're a figment of his imagination? And you know you're not corporeal? Possibly. Possibly. Okay, and then there's an upstairs. I don't know if I checked all the pews. Let's sashay down the aisle here. Easiest way to move with this character. Alright, pews are clear. Oh, is this just the poppet? Yeah, I thought it was... There was an upstairs for some reason. I don't know.
What's that?
The last sermon that was held here.
What does it say?
The vicar's handwriting is hard to decipher, and the language.
Yes.
He talks about the village being divided for 20 years. This sermon was held on the anniversary of the accident this past summer. He's asking the congregation to help heal old wounds, to forgive, move on. Something to the effect of, you sit in separate aisles in God's house.
Like Ruth's drawing. I told you, she was perceptive.
Tilly Verandre.
Edward?
Forgive each other. It addresses Johann and Frederick directly. But I wonder if they were even here.
Remember the wedding picture? They were close friends once. How could they allow their grudge to escalate until...
You call each other traitors, but the only thing you've betrayed are the bonds that unite us. It sounds like Grovik was split in two, between those who stood by Johann and those who supported Frederick.
Because of Ruth?
This sermon is from before that. No, this is all about the preceding 20 years of division and disagreements. Here's something else. Many of you believe Grovik was cursed 20 years ago. God has not cursed you. This curse is of your own making.
Ruth's drawing mentioned a curse. What do you think that means?
It means they believed they were cursed, and that they needed something or someone to blame for their misfortune.
Whatever happened in the mines, I suppose.
Two for two. A tie. Good job, Teddy, old
Stop,
bean.
Lissy. This is not a game. Betty's out there. All
Of
alone.
horse feathers. Stop being so gosh darn tedious, Edward. Biddy, biddy, biddy. Will you ever shut up about your precious Betty? Put those pages back in the book, and I'll stop trying to cheer you up.
She just must be jealous. Like, why aren't you paying attention to me? Why are you trying to find this girl Betty? So what? She's your sister. Pay attention to me. I'm walking on the pews. I'm so cool.
This book goes back years. It lists births and deaths. Here's the third Fretland brother. The one who died in a cave-in. Someone added the word for Banelson, probably quite recently.
What does that mean again?
Curse. That word is all over this book. Not just the men who died in the mine, but other deaths in the last 20 years.
Ruth's drawing and the sermon both mentioned a curse. What do you think it means?
I don't know. There were surprisingly few births.
Perhaps they blame that on the curse as well.
Look here. Ruth Elsa Fretland. She was buried in the cemetery. And the next entry, Simon Fretland. This is interesting.
Simon is dead? Oh,
I
that's
thought we
Drowned.
assumed that.
The day after Ruth died. Probably no coincidence. See what's scribbled next to it?
Ward?
Murder.
Who killed him? Ruth's father? Or the mob that trashed the store?
It doesn't say. After the children, a half-dozen deaths in a single week.
The curse.
It's listed as the cause for every single death.
Maybe there really was a curse.
Primitive superstition. But something changed after Ruth and Simon. It might explain why there's no one around.
Edward, if it killed everyone, how's that not a curse? What does that word say? Next to those names at the bottom. For a
Traitor.
Edward? What's wrong?
The final entry. There's
Betty?
no name. Alice. What if...
Oh, Edward, no.
Betty.
It doesn't mean she's...
She's not dead. She can't be. I'd know. I'd know.
Teddy.
I need to see the grave for myself. It's not Betty. Betty's still alive.
Teddy? Where are you going? Don't leave me! Edward!
You better not be here, Betty. I'll never forgive you. Where is it? This one. It's unmarked.
What are you doing? Have you gone completely mad? Edward, stop it!
Thank God. It's not her. It's not Betty. It's not her.
Oh, Edward. What have you done?
Just a
Not
little bit of
Elizabeth.
grave
I'm
digging.
so afraid.
You're a monster.
But I had to be sure. If Betty had...
To hell with your Betty! When did she ever shed a tear for you?
Don't talk about my baby sister like that.
Or what? Or what, Edward? What will you do? Ignore us? Banish us?
Us?
You've spent your entire life chasing her. When are you going to do something useful with what's left of it?
Quiet! Just leave me be.
Fine.
Yep. I called it.
See? Alice? Come back. Don't leave me alone. Please. Come back. I need you.
Man, I am sometimes just way too good at guessing this kind of stuff. Not all the time, just sometimes.